over the past years, there has been so many marketing messages out there about your launch strategy, how long your launch should take, what steps should be involved in the process, how do you bring your product to market, what if you're launching your business from scratch. And 5 years ago, I made a video and I explained my 5 phase launch strategy, and it has helped countless people to launch new products and services, launch their businesses all together. And in this video, I actually want to react to my own launch strategy advice, tell you what I still do to this day, what things have changed, and where my 5 phase launch strategy stands today. So we're going to get into all of that in today's video. And I promise this is going to change how you think about launches forever.
There's no stopping me now. I know my shot shuts it down. Money's all over me. I'm called to be rich and be free.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ebony Evaughn, your go-to business operations strategist, here to help you grow your business with people and processes. And today we are talking about your launch process and taking it back to where it all started, at least on this channel, to my very first video, my 5 phase bulletproof launch video on how you can build a launch strategy to launch any product or business. So I cannot believe that it has been that long. Just a little bit of background information. So when I posted my bulletproof 5 phase launch strategy video, I literally just created this video because it didn't exist at the time. There was so much messaging out there about, starting a business, an online business at that. And everyone was teaching something different. And I already pretty much had like a streamlined process that I followed. So I was like, why don't I just share my lunch strategy with the world? Yes, it is officially lunch day. Welcome to my channel. I am super excited to be bringing you so much content as far as business strategies, marketing strategies to grow your business. So since it is lunch day, I figured today is a perfect day to break down my 5-figure lunch strategy. When I first posted this video, y'all, it had crickets. I swear it had like 50 views for almost an entire year. And then at the end of that year, like around November, December, all of a sudden it just started getting like hundreds of views a day, and then thousands of views. And then it became one of the most viewed videos on my channel. And one of the things that I always regret from when I made this video was I didn't immediately make follow-up videos. Like after my first video didn't go viral the day after I posted it, I kind of gave up on YouTube. So my channel just kind of sat there for a while. And then once this video finally blew up, I started creating other lunch related videos, right? And that is where a large portion of my audience has came from. You guys came here for the lunch strategy. And I cannot thank you guys enough for the love and support on that video. Just as valuable as it was for me, seeing your comments, your views, your likes has been valuable for me as well. So I figured now would be a perfect time for me to do an updated lunch strategy video and really talk about what still holds true from my lunch strategy and process, and what things have changed over time and why, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into content. Okay, so just in case you are new here and you have never seen my bulletproof 5 phase lunch strategy video, I will link it in the description, as well as put it up in the pinned cards for you. But in a nutshell, the high level overview of my lunch strategy, it is a 5 phase system. It is tried and true. It is a strategy that I have used over the years in my own business when it comes to launching something. It has been a strategy that I have used with clients when it comes to managing their lunches, as well as you all have been able to do this on yourself. So I created my 5 phase lunch strategy video in 2020, at the top of 2020, just in case you are new and you have never seen my bulletproof lunch video. I'm going to give you a short rundown just for this video. Okay, so within a 5-phase launch strategy, I broke down the launch process into 5 specific phases, and they all start with the letter P just because phonetically it looks good, it sounds good, why not, right? The first phase in that process is what I call polling. For those of you who are A1 day ones, you know part of my background is in IT. And in IT, whenever I would build interfaces, we would use what we call listeners. That was basically a polling process that would listen for information to come in and collect data, right? And so within my 5-phase launch strategy, the first phase is polling, which is all about polling your audience. It is putting your ear to the street, listening to the information that's out there, what your target audience is asking for, what it is that they need, what their pain points are, all so that you can curate the message that's going to resonate with them the most, right? So you could create an offer that people not only need and want, but you know they're going to buy without hesitation. So after your polling phase, you collect your data, information, you're doing your market research, you have what I call the pre-game phase. And pre-gaming is exactly what it sounds like. This is when you're building excitement and anticipation, you're generating leads, getting your audience excited for what's to come for your launch. And then after that, you have your pre-launch phase. And pre-launch is where you do a little bit of soft selling. Maybe you do some beta testing, you build a wait list, you have a VIP list. This is all where you're basically validating your offer, getting those early sales and seeing if people resonate with your messaging. And you're generating a little bit of revenue that you can actually put towards marketing for your official launch, right? And that takes us into phase 4, which is your official launch, which is when you officially open your doors to the general public and you let people know what you have to offer is available for consumption, right? And last but not least, in my 5-phase bulletproof launch process is your post-launch phase. And this stage pretty much serves 2 different purposes. First, you want to make sure that you deliver your product or service, give the people what they asked for. And then in addition to that, you also want to circle back to those leads that didn't become customers. So you can downsell them. You could do some additional nurturing. You can do market research, reach out to them, be like, hey, why didn't you buy? See if it was the price, the timing, if it was the messaging, something wasn't clear. It gives you an opportunity to also collect additional information as well as downsell in order to generate additional revenue, right? So in a nutshell, that is the 5-phase launch strategy that I have used and that I have taught over the years. And when it comes to my 5-phase launch strategy, to this day, this process is still tried and true. In the words of 𝗪𝗎 Leaks, honey, I said what I said. The process still works, okay? And I want to reiterate that because over time, I've seen so many different messages out there where you have gurus who will tell you, you'll see like ads that'll say, launch your course in 7 days, or like launch your business in a weekend or in a week. And honestly, unless you have a built-in audience, you're not going to be able to launch in a short time frame like that. If you watch any of my other videos, I always tell you the most important thing when it comes to launching, if you don't want to launch to crickets, is going to be building your audience. If no one's there for you to launch to, no one's excited about what you have to offer, you're not going to make any money. So if you're starting from scratch, the bulk of your launch process is going to be trying to build your audience and generate leads. If you have a built-in audience, you already have a sizable following that you can market to and promote your launch to, then yeah, you could create a new product and launch within a week or launch within, a couple of days. But if you're truly starting from scratch, it is going to take you time to build your audience. And if you walk away with nothing else from this video, I want you to understand that, because a lot of times when you see these messages out there saying, I launched and I made 25K in 2 weeks or in 7 days or 10 days or 30 days. What a lot of people don't tell you is they made that money from that specific launch after they had already tried to launch and fail countless other times, right? They don't talk about the times they launched and they made $0 or they heard crickets or they only got one client. They focus on the time the launch was actually successful, but they don't show you all the groundwork that went on behind the scenes before then. Okay, so keep that in mind whenever you come across these type of marketing messages. All right, so now that we've talked about the 5 phase strategy itself and the process that I use still being the same, let's get into what has actually changed over the years. So before I get into the aspects of my launch process that have actually changed over the years, I want to just talk about kind of at a high level what has changed in the launching landscape collectively, right? Oh, child, there has been so many things that have changed in the launch landscape. I'll try to put up like a card to show you just like a high level summary, but I'm going to go into some of the most significant changes that have impacted the way I approach launches in my business. So obviously, from when I created my launch strategy video in 2020, we have the emergence of AI, and AI has really changed the game when it comes to launching in a lot of ways. With the rise of AI, this has expedited your launch execution and planning process exponentially because you could actually leverage ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever your favorite AI tool is to help you when it comes to planning your launch, coming up with your launch content, just helping you create a checklist. And also, you can leverage AI when it comes to automations for your launch, right? Depending on how advanced your systems are, you do have those capabilities and options. In addition to the rise of the use of AI, you've also had a lot of changes in just audience maturity when it comes to marketing messages. And even right now, I'm starting to see a lot of like TikToks and a lot of YouTube deep dives and video essays talking about like advertiser fatigue or like influencer burnout, where people are just getting burned out and tired of constantly seeing marketing messages constantly being promoted and advertised too. And a lot of that is because consumer behaviors have changed, not only because of the economic climate that we're in right now, but they're also changing because of people are getting hip to entrepreneurs and how they promote the marketing tactics that they use. So that changes the way that your audience actually engages with your brand. And then it kind of piggybacks on another launching landscape change that has happened. And this is just the rise of short form social media. So we now have the integration of Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. TikTok has really taken over the game. And with that, people have become used to having shorter messages and seeing more messages in a shorter package. So back in 2020, you could get clients by doing a 60-minute webinar, and you would have just like a packed out webinar, a very high attendance show up rate, right? Because people were accustomed to that. But now with all these social media changes with short form social media, short form video, people's attention span has become shorter as well. So people don't want to have to sit through a 1 hour seminar to figure out if they want a product or service or not. And because of that, you have to try to find sharper, more creative ways to package your message into these micro content bites that are going to be easily digestible for your audience, right? Last but not least, something else that I think that has had a significant impact on the launch landscape is going to be the integration of launch systems, smarter tools, better tools, enhanced technology that can help you launch smarter and more strategically. So even me, I created my own lunch management system that allows me to systematize my lunches, and I made this tool available to the public as well. So many of you have been able to use my lunch management system, 𝗪𝗁𝗁𝗁, for your own lunches, right? To systematize your lunches. On average, people who use my lunch management system, they have been able to hit their lunch goal within the first 90 days. On average, people are able to have over a $13,000 lunch, and they're able to decrease their lunch time by 60% just by using AI plus my lunch management system. So I will leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. I'll also leave a video if you're just curious of what it looks like and you want to see what the structure is, then you could go check that out as well. But because of lunch systems and lunch tools like this, you can now streamline your lunch so that your lunches are less chaotic, your revenue is more predictable, and you have a repeatable process that you can implement over and over again so that things don't fall through the cracks. Before, like back in 2020 and before that, whenever I would do a lunch, it felt like lunches would be so chaotic and just kind of all over the place, largely because without having a system, everything is like pure manpower, right? You're doing everything manually. And now with the use of AI, plus having a system that I could easily just kind of repeat and use for lunches, it has really just kind of taken all the stress away that used to come along with launching anything. I know there are some people who love lunches. I have clients that are constantly launching something new. And for me, I hate launching something new because of just like all of the effort and energy that goes into it and the stress behind it. But now having a lunch management system that I can easily just follow and use for any lunch, regardless of when it is, what product or service it's for, it has tremendously changed the game for me. So now that I have talked about how the lunching landscape has changed in general, I want to talk about how this has changed my specific lunch process. And the main way that this has changed my lunching process is when it comes to my actual lunch timeline. So originally, back in 2020, whenever I would launch something, a typical lunch period for me would be anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks, right? To go through all the phases of the lunch. And now, because the landscape has changed so much, you have the rise of AI, you have audiences with shorter attention spans, you have systems that can help you with your lunches. I have pretty much kind of truncated my lunch timeline to where now my lunch process can be anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks long. Very rarely do I go over 6 weeks for a lunch now. Now, if I was launching something brand new from scratch, I may take a little bit longer just so I can have extra time to do like market research or whatever. But if it's an existing product or service within my business, yeah, we're probably going to launch and do like a 2 to 4, maybe 6 week launch period. So I would say that is the biggest change between my lunch strategy back then in 2020 and my current lunch process now. I still use my same 5 phase lunch strategy. I'm still going to poll that audience. I'm still going to pregame. I'm still going to do my pre-lunch. I'm going to have my official lunch period, and I'm going to do my post-lunch every single time. But the time span for when I do that is definitely much shorter now than it was in 2020. So that is an update on my bulletproof 5 phase lunch strategy. Let me know down in the comments, how have your lunches changed over time with the rise of AI, with the micro content, the rise of TikTok and reels and shorts? Like, has anything changed when it comes to your own lunches? Do you notice that you kind of consistent, you shorten your lunch time, you implemented new steps? Let me know all the tea down in the comments below this video. As always, I want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by my internet home. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so anytime I upload another video like this, you will be the first one to get notified. All right, bye y'all.